Good morning, laddies. My name is Jez, and welcome to the What If Deku Had the Powers of Infinity? And basically, you know, he, in order to keep his powers in this What If, he has chains that allows him to only. It's like that one girl, like her. Yeah. So let's begin. And I'm drawn in zoomy so that to keep things interesting. Sorry if my voice is kind of whack. So they were born, and he was born with a ability, as not a quirk. So he was quirkless. Yes. So his mother and his father got rid of him, and he was not hanging around with his sister, as that caused his stress level to reach critical, as the chains randomly formed from his body to keeping him calm. Yeah. He's as he carries it around, it was like a heavy burden. Yeah. So he basically does something that is pretty insane. As he goes to UA. Like a time skip. So he basically forgot all about his friends, his own family. As the doctor here secretly knew that Zuko did not need a quirk. Zuko already has a ability of infinity and zero sewed into his brain or through his entire body. So the quirk, he didn't want to tell them, so he actually secretly says to himself, most devastating quirk is destroyer quirk. And Zuko, was at the park. He was sitting down. I'm just taking a breather, as a random old man walked. It was him. So, like, he left his office to just sit with him and tell him that he's not quirkless, actually. The and you don't need that kind of quirk. Zuko, as Zuko, sorry, Zuko was taken back by this. What do you mean? As the quirk doctor says that the reason why he didn't tell or being truthful to his parents because he's basically or Zuko's or he says this, okay, and reason why Zuko is because you have the power to take away all of our quirks. Basically, like you could destroy all of our quirks with just a tap of your finger. But there's one thing I did not want to tell him about it. But you already have enough power to. And may I ask, of course, he's like says you already have the abilities of infinity and zero sewed into your body. So basically, you can do anything you want. As he says, yeah, as the doctor puts his hand over his shoulder and says, you can become a hero. You don't need to be held back by them. If that's true. And Zuko, whom and the doctor were sitting there, as the doctor asks, what are these chains for around your body? As he says, I don't know. He, since after they left, was under a lot of stress, and then these guys formed around me. Like, they were trying to keep me calm from or limit to my powers. That's what I do through my rest of my life. As, yeah, most of the people are scared of him. And Zuko, now back to the present day, that's 15, he goes to UA. As as their power level, as is happy, as they notice that he's always so cheerful, as every time he's beating up a robot, he says, Ah, that's a more relieves on my stressful body. And when he was beating up like 1 pointers, 2 pointers with like, yeah, with all that stuff. And Zuko is like a wrecking ball. As he is so relaxed that even pro heroes are like, why is he so relaxed? He should have been upset when he destroys the 1 pointers, 2 pointers, 3 pointers. As everyone's is asking the same thing. Like all of them are asking, why is he so happy when he's destroying the robots? As I'll tell you, audience, before they figure it out the hard way. So, Zuko, in this what if, those chains on his like entire body doesn't allow him to become angry or have a negative emotions. He's always like happy all the time. It's like the smile fruit from One Piece. And his plus he has a limit to his power. Or but his quirk he limits itself too. So that's why. And it's basically like his limiter. Because I'm making him busted. Like, without those chains, the entire world would be in trouble. Not even the world, the entire multiverse, universe, everything would be in trouble. As he needs to learn how to control his power. And what they end up doing? Putting him in Class B. He, I was gonna say Class A, but don't worry. So, yeah. So Zuko was basically got put in a Class B, but they didn't know at the time. So yeah. So I'm skipping the ball throw and the heroes versus villains. As Class B students asked him, what about these chains that are on your body? You're like a prisoner or something? As he looks at them and says, well, the no, it's not because I am not a prisoner, but I am the you all have limits to your quirks, right? Well, my limit is these chains that you see before you. It's like a prison in my own body. As they're confused why. Hey, well, as Blood Hero wanted a demonstration, he asked, as they go to before the USJ thing, that I'm in this what if Class A and Class B were gonna go to it, or is, but so he takes off one of his arms, as before he sets the um, you'll have the taste of my power. As he used when he took off his arm guard thing, let me show you before the one that's up in the air, yeah, he took that off. Huh. As he used, then, as he destroys the pillar, or like pillar, with enough force to destroy the entire world. Yeah, destroy one pillar, and boom. Yep. That's only the smallest taste that you'll ever try. So, yeah. So they go, I don't know about with Class 1A, as they basically, yeah, they destroyed, no, when they arrive, they get ambushed, as Kirigiri could sense a power that he never sensed before, as Shiraki-san could feel his aura, as he tells the Nomu to attack that kid, as the Nomu went, and who he was talking about? None other than Zuko Midoriya. Yeah. As he... Oh, it's so cute. As he grabs as they're all are confused why he's calling the Nomu that's supposed to be scary cute, and they're like, dude, that's just supposed to be a scariest thing, but why are you calling it cute? Huh. As Class B student, here, Rinko, tells him that or actually she already knew why the chains formed from his skin. So she tells them that he all the negative emotions that he usually would had is like turned into his happiness. Basically more chilled out kind. As Ochako couldn't believe that the someone and with that much power to just be happy. As it's finally time to just be happy. As he's he asks the Class B and Class A to get out of here quick. As he rams, yeah, so all the things. As Zuko, as he unstraps all of his, or actually his chains fell off, as he became the, like, literally Ingun. And as his power grew and grew to a point of no return, as he says, You really pissed me off, you villains. As his voice was dark and scary. As he taps on Shiraki's, took away his quirk, bashing everyone's and all the high-end villains. Yeah, he looked like that, but on steroids. Like, yeah, everyone from the outside could feel his aura pulsating, like someone just went all Super Saiyan. Yeah. As everyone was scared out of their minds. How so? Well, that's easy. Class Class A and B, if they were in the same boat, that would have been like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's probably 5, 18, 20, 25, 30, 35. Wait, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. 40 students. Or actually, 39 students. Because, no, 40. There's 41 students. So yeah, when they felt his aura, he could, or everyone from the city could feel his rage, as All Might could sense that there's something wrong at UA. As he goes to UA, as he becomes lame. He beats all the high-end villains as his body starts to as his eyes start to glow more and more, as he calms down, as the chains, because how stressed, like one of his eyes started to become into more dark and red. Uh, yeah. As the chains move by themselves, forming, or actually latching back onto his body, as his eyes became back to normal, as he fell, down, boom, as as all the pro heroes, including All Might. Let me remind you, All Might already gave his quirk to Zumi. But when in class 1B wanted him to see if he was okay, as he says, or this is what he says: "I'm fine, guys. It's remember when I told you. Remember that demonstration that I did?" As they said, "Yeah, that was a small taste of my power." Or, well, my body, as he explains, or actually, he was taking an like sleep thing as a pro hero. Or show up. Yeah, they ran Zuko to the hospital to make sure he didn't have any extra wounds. Well, he did on his as Zuko, or as the or as the detective walks in and tells him what happened. Okay, as he says that he as he says that the villains came out of nowhere and a lot of things happened that I don't remember. As yeah, detective was only a detective was there, not a chief of police. So he ends up saying that you're still a student with your quirk. Yes, as they asked, or as he, or actually, detective tells him that your more power, or your quirk is now you are no longer, or you're not able to use your power again. Or a quirk till you become a hero. That's okay. You know what? You know what my quirk is actually? What? Destruction of quirks. It it allows as a person, or it allows as me to basically destroy a person's quirk, and they will never use it ever again. It's not the close range one. I could I could use it to get rid of all the quirks from the entire world if I wanted to. But I chose not to. I'm the most broken character in the world. As a detective, is a little bit shocked, awestruck that this kid's like most overpowered character. As he says, no wonder why you have those chains on your body. It's your limit. If you remove those limits, then you become, or you can use them without having to at their fullest power. Am I right? Yeah. It's these handcuff or these chain things is like Mr. Azawa's quirk is keeping me from using my abilities and my quirks at the same time. So it's basically, as he says, that basically with these holding my quirk and my ability down. So basically, think about me as quirkless. Kind. As they couldn't believe how powerful he really gets, but actually ended up him saying quirkless would rather he would rather born without a quirk than having to deal with this life. As he looks at his hands and as the detective noticed that he so yeah. So then I'm skipping the sports festival and the internship thing. The yeah. As in the camp arc, or during the camp arc, he uses his like dumb to basically flung around like how she does things, as she destroys, or as Zuko destroys the entire mountains. And with, yeah, he destroys the entire mountains with just, yeah, he made giant holes in a wall, and yeah. As he's more relaxed than anything. It's so scary. Yeah, rest of them are so scared of why he so, oh, like, all that stuff. As Zuko was basically the one-man wrecking crew. As now the Raydirk and Zuko got kidnapped because I just realized when I was making his quirk, I thought about how the part of All for One's quirk is to steal quirks. And I just ended up destroying the quirk. I mean, the destroy part. Yeah. So, Shiraki-sen is, in this what if, is, since before the USJ he had a quirk, and since after that he lost it. Yeah, he's quirkless, so that makes him useless. Yes. More as, yeah, All for One decided to get rid of him. Not kill him, but just turn him over to the police thing. So, yeah. So, All for One wanted to get his revenge on, yeah, getting rid of Zuko. So, yeah. So, they ended up now All for One versus All Might. All Might was down on one knee. He's not bowing. He was like, he was breathing, or he needed to catch his breath, kind. As All for One says, "You'll be dead," as he shoots a beam of light. But out of the blue, Zuko's power level, as he goes, or like his chains fell off of his body, as Zuko was like the laser attack, and actually when he absorbed it, as his eyes start to glow all rainbow colors, as his entire body was galaxy, as he tells them that you're not gonna hurt my favorite idol. As the chains that were on his body became strapped to All for One's entire body. As, yeah, All for One and couldn't even move. As he says, as he looks at him, he says this: "You're gonna die, if you like it or not." As Zuko's hand and got closer and closer and ends up touching him, as when it made contact with All For One's body, all of the quirks that All For One had and his own, they all got destroyed all at once. It was a pretty brutal way to die. Yeah. Everyone couldn't believe that Zuko can be cruel. As he says, "You might take your helmet when I..." As he picks up the helmet with just his 3 fingers. Yeah. And it was pretty painful for All For One to die like that. It was like, what? Just like that. Like, All For One has died like that. And All For One's last words were, "No!" As now we just need to cut back to as Zuko's change went back onto his body. As he is smiling at that. As the All Might knows that the chains are making him like have positive thoughts, and it's like a cycle. Oh, thoughts. Yeah, that's because he, as Nezu that saw his power, he thinks that he can become a hero, you know, in dire situations. Basically, aka they'll use him as a trap card, and so that yeah, and yeah, Zuko, who is happy, and who was watching the news was Inko and Astashi in Zumi. And when they saw how powerful Zuko can get to, as Astashi was watching, and he remembered something like the detective told him that or actually one of it was like watching Zuko as he heard through the conversation between Zuko and the doctor, as he remembers it clearly, as he told Inko that the doctor says that he secretly or used like to not tell us that this is what he says. Do not tell us the truth or true reason why. He, as Inko looked at Asashi, and before she even whacked him in the head for not telling her earlier, he said, I did, but you forgot, didn't you? As she remembers it, oh yeah, whoops. Yeah. So she ends up making some arrangements. As Zuko became. As Nezu, whom had Zuko to come to his office, as he says, or as Mirio's like making fun of him, like, oh, you're in trouble now. Huh. As he. Or so they. As he. As Nezu was like, huh, no, you're not in trouble. By the way, it's the. How do you. As he says this, how do you feel about becoming a trap card for us pro heroes? As Zuko says, what do you mean by that, Nezu? Well, the you'll be on a back burner if something like if a meteor hits or like some big monster comes out of nowhere. He'll be the backup or secret weapon. That sounds like interesting thought. Okay. As long as I walk around freely. Of course. And by the way, as before Zuko even leaves the office before, you have been promoted to becoming Class 1A because of your power. You're the top student. Yeah. As he ends up becoming bumped up to Class 1A. Bakugo, yeah, to original class. Monoma, or no, not Monoma. Let me see. Yeah, Monoma, or the one of them got bumped down to Class 1B. As Inko, or not Inko, please wait for part 2.